In May of 1968, a powerful U.S. Navy submarine, armed with nuclear weapons, vanished beneath the Atlantic Ocean, and no one knows exactly why. The USS Scorpion, a Cold War-era attack submarine, was on its way home when it disappeared without a trace. Was it a mechanical failure, a Soviet attack, or something even stranger? The USS Scorpion, SSN 589, was a skipjack-class nuclear-powered submarine, designed for speed and stealth. At 252 feet long and carrying a crew of 99, it was built for one purpose: to track and, if necessary, destroy enemy submarines during the height of the Cold War. On February 15, 1968, the Scorpion departed from Norfolk, Virginia, for a routine deployment in the Mediterranean. After months at sea, the crew was eager to return home. But on May 21st, while about 400 miles southwest of the Azores, the Scorpion sent a final, cryptic message. Then, silence. For months, the U.S. Navy searched desperately, but there was no sign of the sub. Then, in October 1968, after extensive deep-sea searches, the wreckage was finally located at a depth of over 10,000 feet on the seafloor. The submarine had been torn apart, its hull crushed, debris scattered. But what could have caused such devastation? Theory 1. Mechanical failure. The official U.S. Navy report suggests that the USS Scorpion may have been lost due to an internal malfunction. But what exactly could have gone wrong? One theory points to a catastrophic failure deep inside the submarine, one that gave the crew no chance to escape. The USS Scorpion was equipped with Mark 37 torpedoes, deadly weapons designed to seek and destroy enemy vessels. But there was a problem. At the time, U.S. submarines were known to have issues with their torpedo storage and launch systems. Faulty wiring, accidental activation, and overheating had been reported on other vessels. Could the Scorpion have fallen victim to one of its own weapons? One of the most widely accepted mechanical failure theories suggests that a torpedo inside the Scorpion's launch tube may have entered a hot run, meaning it was unintentionally activated while still inside the sub. Normally, torpedoes are armed and fired away from the submarine. But if one of these deadly weapons malfunctioned inside the launch tube, it could have triggered a catastrophic explosion. Another possibility points to the submarine's complex electrical system. The USS Scorpion relied on large lead-acid batteries to power its essential systems. But these batteries were known to be unstable under certain conditions. If a battery cell overheated or suffered a short circuit, it could have led to a fire or even an explosion. In the tight confines of a submarine, fire is one of the deadliest threats. Smoke would have spread rapidly, blinding the crew and disabling critical systems. If either of these scenarios occurred, the submarine would have suffered catastrophic damage almost instantly. A torpedo detonation or a fire in the battery room could have caused a rapid loss of control. The pressure at extreme depths would have done the rest, crushing the sub within seconds. Did a torpedo misfire doom the USS Scorpion? Did a deadly battery fire ignite a disaster? Or is there another truth hidden in classified Navy files? Theory 2. Structural weakness. By 1968, the USS Scorpion had been in service for nearly a decade. While nuclear submarines were the pride of the U.S. Navy, they came with serious maintenance challenges. And the Scorpion was falling apart. Reports indicate that the Scorpion had suffered repeated mechanical issues. There were problems with its propulsion system, electrical failures, and even concerns about its ability to safely dive and resurface. Some crew members even believed the submarine wasn't seaworthy at all. But despite these concerns, the Scorpion was sent on one more mission, and it would never return. Submarines are built to withstand immense pressure, but even the strongest hulls have limits. If the Scorpion's steel structure had been weakened by years of stress and wear, it could have been vulnerable to a catastrophic failure. At extreme depths, even a small structural defect can turn deadly. If the hull gave way, just for a fraction of a second, the pressure would have crushed the submarine instantly, leaving no chance for the crew to escape. The pressure at that depth the Scorpion operated was over 4,800 psi, enough to crush a steel submarine in milliseconds. If the Scorpion's hull was already weakened, it may have been a disaster waiting to happen. Despite these findings, the U.S. Navy never officially declared structural failure as the cause. Some believe this was an intentional cover-up. After all, admitting that an aging submarine had been sent to sea despite known issues would have been a major scandal. Was it mechanical failure, or was it something far more sinister? Or Theory 3. Soviet retaliation. Some believe the USS Scorpion wasn't lost to an accident, but to an enemy attack. A deadly act of Cold War vengeance that was covered up for decades. To understand this theory, we need to go back to 1968, one of the most dangerous years of the Cold War. The United States and the Soviet Union were locked in a silent battle beneath the ocean's surface, each side hunting the other's submarines in a game of high-stakes cat and mouse. The USS Scorpion had just completed a mission in the Mediterranean, where it was reportedly spying on Soviet naval operations. On its way home, it made a brief stop in Rota, Spain. But shortly after, the Scorpion sent a final cryptic message, then disappeared without a trace. Here's where things get strange. Just a few months before the USS Scorpion vanished, something happened on the other side of the world. In March 1968, the Soviet ballistic missile submarine K-129 mysteriously sank in the Pacific Ocean. The cause? Still unknown, but some believe it was sunk by US forces. If that's true, did the Soviets retaliate by sinking the USS Scorpion? Could this have been an act of Cold War revenge? A submarine for a submarine? Some military analysts and former Navy personnel believe the Scorpion may have been ambushed by a Soviet submarine on its way home. The theory suggests that a Soviet vessel could have fired a torpedo, crippling the Scorpion and sending it plummeting to the ocean floor. But if this happened, why wouldn't the US government reveal the truth? If the Scorpion was attacked, it would have meant war between the US and the Soviet Union. A direct military confrontation between two nuclear superpowers was unthinkable. Some believe that both governments covered up the incident to prevent global catastrophe. Instead of retaliation, did the US and the USSR quietly agree to let their submarines rest in silence? While the official Navy report suggests an internal malfunction, some experts point to the wreckage itself as evidence of an external attack. The way the submarine broke apart, the location of the debris, and the lack of a clear cause all raise suspicions. Was the Scorpion's destruction caused by a Soviet torpedo? Or was it simply an unfortunate accident? We may never know the full truth about what happened to the USS Scorpion. Whether it was Cold War espionage, a tragic accident, or a cover-up that has lasted over 50 years, one thing is certain: the ocean holds its secrets well. To this day, the full truth remains classified. Was the USS Scorpion an unfortunate victim of time and pressure? Or was there more to the story? What do you think happened to the USS Scorpion? If you enjoyed this deep-sea mystery, don't forget to like, subscribe, and dive into more ocean secrets with us at Tidal Knowledge.